Hi, I'm Marlon. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to unbox this right here. This is a StewMac Offset trim guitar kit. You set it down here, and I'm going to move the camera in close so I can show you exactly what comes in this kit. First we open it up. Got some foam packing here. It's got an instruction manual here, which if you look at it, it shows you some detail, but also encourages you to purchase various StewMac tools and products. It also talks about how you need to do different things to your frets and everything else, but definitely lists a lot of StewMac products. So we have that. Then let's look at the neck here. Now if you look at the neck, not a very good nut. And these frets are sharp. The ends of these frets are sharp and need to be filed. So that's not a good sign. Then go ahead and see what we have here. Okay, then you have this pick guard, which is quite thin, in an unusual pick guard. And you got a cheap switch, and also you got small pots right here. Kind of a disappointment. Then let's pull up the body here, and if you look at it, not the best tremolo bridge in the world. Looks like it's made from pot metal. Then let's pull out the tuners. Of course, if you look at these tuners, not very remarkable at all. And then you go to this right here. So we open it up. Let's see what we have in this bag here. Got tremolo cover, tremolo arm, screws, strap buttons, some wrenches, of course more springs for your tremolo system. Put them back in here. Okay, looks like you got a P90 pickup here. Let's check right here. Got a neck plate, which is pretty unremarkable. Have some strings. Another P90 pickup. Put it back in the bag. I must admit, after unboxing this kit, it's pretty disappointing. For the amount of money that I paid for this, which I got it on sale, I might add, they could have provided better components. They could have done at least some work on the frets. So they basically provided components that I would expect to find on a cheap guitar. I wanted this kit because it's offset and it has P90 pickups. I don't really have any guitars that have P90 pickups. But overall, extremely disappointed in the kit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this kit, I'm going to upgrade it and make it better. So stay tuned and you will see vast improvement on this kit. Please hit the like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. 6 coats of True Oil finish were applied to the neck. The fret ends were filed. Frets were polished using steel wool. These are the Guitar Fetish locking tuners. The tuner bushings were installed using a 10mm socket wrench. A ruler was used to make sure that the tuner is lined up properly. A 1/16 inch drill bit was used to make holes for the retaining screws. Notice the painter tape used to limit the depth of the drill. The retaining screws were screwed into place. This is what the installed tuners look like. The old nut I tap out using a brass hammer and a small screwdriver. The low friction nut I gently tapped in with the brass hammer. Here I'm temporarily taping the pick guard and then using the screws to make some holes for the P90 pickups. This is where the screws are going to go when I install the pickup for the bridge. And I use a drill to make some holes for the screws for the neck P90 pickup. This is drilling the holes for the trim claw. I'm going to tape it into place and then use a 1/8 inch drill bit to drill a 1.5 inch hole. After some trial and error, I finally got those 2 holes drilled. Finally, after a lot of effort, I got the holes to line up. I went ahead and soldered a ground wire to the trim claw. Soldered the ground wires to the body of the switch. Soldered the ground wires to the trim claw. I tested the electronics using an amplifier and a screwdriver. Here is a replacement bridge from Mucozili. Now it's time to install the springs for the tremolo bridge. The tremolo springs were installed. Holes were drilled with a 1/16 inch drill bit for the pickguard screws. The pickguard screws were installed. Holes were drilled for the tremolo cover using a 1/16 inch drill bit. The tremolo cover was screwed into place. Knobs for the volume and tone pots are installed. The knobs that I tried didn't fit, so I had to try a different set of knobs that I used to fasten with an Allen wrench. Inlay fret markers were applied to the fretboard. Holes were drilled for the string trees using a 1/16 inch drill bit. Here are the string trees after they've been installed. The neck was bolted to the body using 4 large screws. The guitar was strung with number 9 super slinky electric guitar strings. The guitar was strung, and then string height was adjusted along with intonation. This is how the finished guitar looks. This is how the back looks. And if you notice, there are some areas that did not take the true oil finish, so they kind of look like relicing. That was purely unintentional. I've hooked the guitar up to my Fender amplifier with the settings of the treble, middle, and bass on 5 with a little bit of reverb. Let me demonstrate how it sounds. Starting with the bridge, moving to the middle, and then the neck position. Here it goes, starting with the bridge. Now the middle position. Now the neck position. Now, let's have a little bit of fun with this. I call the song Under the Radar. Doesn't sound too bad. The body's mahogany and it's quite heavy. The pickups that came with the kit, the bridge was about 9, the neck was about 8, which is not too bad. I originally wanted to change the electronics, but I ran into some trouble with the pickups that I ordered. Didn't really have any room for the springs. Also had trouble with the wiring, so I just went ahead and went with the electronics that came with the kit. Body I did with a true oil finish, and as you can see, it didn't really take up the stain in some places, so kind of has a relic look to it, which was purely unintentional. The kit, when I opened it, was somewhat of a disappointment. I had hoped for better quality components, but I think with the upgrades I was able to salvage this kit, so it wasn't a complete disaster. Hopefully this video has shown you some of the possibilities of what you can do with a kit, even if it's not quite what your expectations are. So please hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.